After watching this film, I had a really ugly cry. Like I'm talking like a really ugly cry, because I'm a parent and I connect to anything that involves having children and navigating that. And I'm about to go on a business trip tomorrow, and I really just don't want to go after watching this. And so I'm just curious, like the last time that you've maybe had an experience like that after watching something that you just felt like you just needed to cry, you needed to let something loose, and do you actively chase those kinds of cinematic experiences that may not be your Friday night kind of movie, but it's a movie that has the power to play in your head on an endless loop for some time?
Of course, I actually I love that kind of films, and I had many experience like that. Maybe more with European cinema
Right.
than American. But like Melancholia by Lars von Trier, it's a film
Yeah.
I crashed on this film. I was crying. I couldn't, put myself together. So it's that kind of cathartic experience. I think they are super important for us, and also
Hmm.
they are. If even you are afraid now, but it's healing also. When some time is passing, then you feel that those movies are important, and they have a power of changing something in the people's life. So to me, filmmaking it's art. It's not only a job, and it's not only Friday night films. It's something very different, as you
Right.
probably know. And I think, from my perspective as a filmmaker, life is too short to make them. Yeah, maybe it sounds awkward in Hollywood, but
Hmm.
I have a feeling that life is very short. And if I'm making a movie, if I'm doing an effort to make a movie, I would like this film stay in people.
Yes. Yes.
So that's the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I appreciate that. Have you seen Drive My Car yet?
I've heard it's amazing. No, no.
No. I think this film, your film, makes a great companion piece with that film because they both deal with two people connecting over grief, but both films take a very different but equally impactful approach. And if I may ask, what was the biggest takeaway here, and what was the moment that maybe taught you the most about humanity?
The most that kind of moment is when she comes back and she's sitting in the kitchen in front of the fridge drinking beer and eating
Yeah.
pizza, and then she's like laughing and crying at the same time, and then she's in the bathtub and she's crying and she reminds her lost.
Hmm.
uh, that this is the moment, like the most kind of authentic, and this moment is connect with in my head with the moment when she walks at the beginning of the film in silence, like 10 minutes of walking through this amazing pure mountains nature where like no music, and she walks like a meditation. So I'm very much connected with these two moments.
So, do you, as a storyteller, do you connect, or are you more excited by capturing or filming moments of stillness because it involves, you're having to work with the actors to communicate something that can be said without words, but also you're using the camera as a tool to kind of mirror what their emotions may be?
Yes, yes, yes. Something like exactly like you said. I mean, I maybe as a filmmaker, I'm more interested in filming these moments of stillness, as you said, rather than action. Of course, filming an action, it's fun, it's
Yeah.
interesting, but this is very different experience, you know. So me as a filmmaker, it's more natural the moment of silence, the moment of visual moments without almost an action or a face of an actress like Naomi. She has this beautiful face,
Hmm.
and you can see each detail, emotion. This is fast. I'm fascinated by this.
Yeah. Even opposite of the stillness, there are some really great poetic lines here. Like one in the beginning talks about how the mountains listen, and then
Yes.
there's of course the one that bookends that about how even in the storm, in the wind, there's so much beauty. What's going on, or what's going through your head as you prepare to shoot a line of dialogue like that, that you know that is going to get to the core of what it means to be human and feel something as it compares to any other day during the production?
I think this moment when they have this conversation and Naomi, she said all of this line, I remember, I mean, that I felt really touched sitting in front of my monitor, and I had the feeling that there's something real happening in front of me, and probably she also felt this moment, and like those lines are so cruel, so important, so crucial, I would say. Because so yeah, I think we felt all that this is something special. I was a little bit afraid that it might be too much, you know, too much indirect communication in words, like, because sometimes I like if something like this is happening without any words, you know. But I think in this case, it's good that she said all of them.
Yeah. I also love that there's little rituals that Pam has before going up the mountain, like how she packs. It's a very certain way. She talks herself through things. And it's those moments that kind of keep you grounded, because at that point I didn't look up like what the story was. I just kind of wanted to go on the journey with the film. And at that point, I was just thinking that she was just very passionate about mountain climbing and being able to go up there and having some sort of spiritual connection, or it meant something more to her than we know at the moment. But it keeps her grounded. What keeps you grounded in between your work?
What keeps me grounded? I'm doing a lot of sport.
What kind?
I'm swimmer.
Oh, good.
And I'm doing surfing. So I'm a surfer. So I sometimes I can spend like half of my year, for instance, like it was COVID, on surfing. Oh, and it's a kind of meditation to me. Of course, before, when I was younger, it was more like alcohol, parties, but now I switched this experience into this very sport active experience. But I'm treating sport, swimming, surfing, as a kind of meditation. Really, because, you know, for 1 hour or 2 hours, I'm completely out of the reality, you know. So this is something very similar to hiking. So I understand Pam experience so well. And another thing which keeps me kind of alive in a good sense, it's a reading. I'm reading books, and really I'm reading a lot of books. And this is like rare. People stop reading. I can see this. So these two things,
Yeah, it's interesting what you were saying that about connecting to the hiking experience, just because when you were explaining surfing, I just, you know, I haven't really done it myself, but I have enough of a knowledge there that there must be like moments where you just feel like that this is just me and the world, and there's nobody else there, and I'm having some, because you capture those kinds of moments here with Pam being on the mountain and how beautiful it looks in the background, and there's that really
because this gives you the, I think, when you are doing surfing, or you are in the forest, or you are walking up in the mountains, I think you feel that everything makes sense, you know. Death, reborn, born, you know, everything, like seasons, that you are part of something much bigger. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if you feel that you are part of something much bigger, and you are very little, but this is a beautiful circle of nature and life and death, I think you feel relief. So that's what I want to achieve on the screen, and that's what I feel. You feel relief, and you are maybe less afraid.
Right. So did you have any like unexpected moments of beauty, or any poetic moments, like going back to that moment of her being on the mountain? I don't know if it was designed to be the moment where the lights like finally coming through in the film. And I don't know if a moment like that is planned or it's just has that impact that it has on me when I'm going through it.
Yeah, of course. I think sometimes it was planned and sometimes it wasn't, because we've been really gifted by nature doing this film, because we've been doing this sometimes almost a documentary way, So I remember very well the moment when we've been driving on a ski-doos. It was completely dark, 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. or I don't remember, or 5 a.m. Very up to 2,000 meters, like very high in Alps. And then we've seen the sunrise. And I never forgot this. It was like completely metaphysical experience. And it was the moment when I had the feeling that this film has a really big sense and meaning what I'm doing, that we are really connected with something.
Yeah, that's really special. I know we're about to run out of time, but since you kind of brought it up of like shooting in the elements, I'm curious about that process, the challenges of shooting in the elements, but also kind of recreating them too and mixing that sound, which probably was not easy.
No, everything was super demanding and challenging on this project. We've been very limited with time, 25 shooting days, little budget, indie film. So that the experience was rather like more documentary. Okay, let's took these two actors, including Hollywood star Naomi, let's put them up to the high mountains and let's get everyone cold and crazy and let's make it happen for real, kind of, because we've been discussing how to achieve that result on the screen, and this was only one way to achieve it. So bravo Naomi and bravo Billy that they've been enough brave to not reject it, to not deny, to say, yes, okay, we are doing this.